Ever feel like you're just going through the motions, like living someone else's life?
Yeah.
That there's got to be more to life than just, the daily grind.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in this deep dive, we're going to be using AI narration
Oh, wow.
to explore Discover Your Destiny with the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma.
Okay.
It's a story about one man's journey to rediscover his purpose and passion.
Sounds intriguing.
And this deep dive is brought to you by Mindful Moments, your go-to for enriching your mind, on the go.
I like that.
So this book really dives into that, universal feeling of discontentment.
Yeah.
And it introduces us to Dar. He's a high-achieving lawyer.
Okay.
Who seems to have reached, the pinnacle of success.
Right.
But he finds himself totally miserable.
Interesting.
It's like he's living the dream, but only on autopilot.
Yeah.
But inside, he's screaming.
I get that.
What I found really relatable was how Sharma highlights, those subtle ways that we convince ourselves that external achievements will bring us lasting happiness.
Yeah.
And they just don't.
For sure.
So Dar's breakdown, which culminates in a near-suicide attempt,
Wow.
really forces him to confront this question that so many of us bury.
Which
is all there is.
It's a big question.
And his subsequent journey offers a roadmap, really, for anyone who feels lost in the same way.
That's powerful.
And that roadmap leads him to Julian Mantle,
Okay.
who's a former colleague of his.
Mm-hmm.
And Julian traded his, lucrative law career for a life of spiritual exploration in the Himalayas.
So pretty radical career change.
Yeah, talk about a radical career change.
Exactly.
So Julian becomes Dar's mentor, right?
Yeah.
And he guides him through what he calls the 7 stages of self-awakening.
Interesting.
It's not some, quick fix.
Right.
But it's a framework for examining our lives, really, and aligning them with our true purpose.
I like that.
One of the first concepts that Julian introduces is this integrity gap.
Okay. The integrity gap.
It's that space between who we pretend to be and who we really are.
Right.
And I think, we all experience this to some degree.
Yes, definitely.
Especially in today's world.
Right.
So obsessed with social media and projecting that perfect image.
Totally. It's like we're always wearing a mask.
Exactly. It's like we're constantly performing for this invisible audience.
Yeah.
Instead of living authentically.
Absolutely.
This reminds me of that powerful metaphor of the golden Buddha statue.
Oh, yeah, right.
Concealed beneath layers of mud.
I see the connection.
Yeah. And Julian uses this image to illustrate how societal conditioning and fear just bury our true potential.
It's like we get so used to the mud that we completely forget about the gold underneath.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do we start chipping away at that mud to rediscover that golden Buddha within? I'm guessing this is where the 7 stages come in.
You got it. The stages offer a framework for uncovering our authentic selves and then living in alignment with our values. But Julian really emphasizes that it's not a passive process. We have a choice in shaping our own destiny.
This reminds me of the whole discussion about fate versus choice.
Yeah.
While acknowledging the role of destiny, Julian really empowers Dar to, take ownership of his life.
Right.
He encourages Dar to see himself not as a victim of circumstance, but as, the architect of his own reality.
Powerful stuff.
It's about recognizing that we have the power to choose our thoughts, our responses, and ultimately the direction of our lives. And this is where things get really interesting, because Julian challenges Dar to confront his fears head on.
Okay.
He uses the analogy of Christopher Columbus.
Right, sailing into the unknown.
Yeah. The great metaphor for stepping outside our comfort zones.
It really is. It's about recognizing that true growth happens when we dare to venture beyond what's familiar to us.
Exactly. To embrace uncertainty and challenge the limits that we've imposed on ourselves. And this is where stage 5, transformation and rebirth, takes center stage. This stage seems particularly challenging. As Dar is forced to shed old beliefs and behaviors that no longer serve him, I imagine this is where the real inner work begins.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is like the point in the journey where the caterpillar dissolves its old form to become a butterfly.
Right.
And Julian emphasizes that transformation is rarely comfortable.
Yeah.
Often involving confusion, even pain.
Definitely. And that's where the butterfly analogy becomes especially potent. The struggle, the darkness, it's all a part of the process, ultimately leading to liberation and the ability to soar to new heights.
Exactly. So we left off talking about that transformative power of stage 5.
Yeah.
Where Dar confronts that messy but necessary process of shedding his old self.
Right.
But this is just the beginning of his journey.
You mentioned that the final two stages, the trial and the great awakening, hold even deeper wisdom.
They do.
I'm curious to, understand how these stages play out in Dar's transformation and what lessons they hold for us.
Well, stage 6, the trial, throws Dar into a crucible, really testing his commitment to the path that he's chosen.
Okay.
It's not about punishment, though.
Right.
But about proving to himself that he's really internalized the lessons of those previous stages.
So it's like a final exam.
Yeah.
Designed to push him to his limits and reveal whether he's, truly ready to embrace his authentic self.
Exactly. Julian explains that this trial often takes the form of, facing our deepest fears or maybe unresolved issues.
Interesting.
It's the universe's way of ensuring we're not just, intellectually grasping these concepts,
Right.
but embodying them in our actions.
This really resonates with. We can talk about self-improvement all day long, but it's in those moments of intense challenge that our true character is revealed.
You got it.
What stood out to you about how Dar navigates this trial?
Well, what's really inspiring is that Dar doesn't shy away from the challenge.
Okay.
He chooses courage and resilience over, fear and doubt, remembering those lessons that Julian has imparted.
Right.
It's in this active choice, in this unwavering commitment, that he paves the way for the Great Awakening.
That brings us to the culmination of the journey, stage 7.
Yeah.
I imagine this is where Dar finally steps into his full potential.
It is. The Great Awakening represents the realization of our true purpose and the embodiment of our, authentic selves.
Yep.
It's a state of liberation and deep connection to something greater than ourselves.
Wow.
A state Julian describes as enlightenment.
So it's almost as if Dar's entire journey has been leading up to this moment.
Right.
This profound shift in awareness.
Exactly.
But it's not a passive arrival, is it?
It's not.
There's still an element of active participation.
Absolutely. Even in this stage, Julian emphasizes the importance of continuous growth and self-reflection.
Interesting.
It's not about reaching some static endpoint, but about embracing a lifelong journey of self-discovery.
I'm really struck by the concept of rough destiny that Julian introduces. He believes that there's a general plan for our lives, but we have the power to, shape the details through our choices.
Right.
It's like we're given a sketch, but we're the artists who bring it to life with, color and depth.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It highlights that delicate balance between surrendering to the flow of life and actively participating in its creation. We may not be able to control every circumstance, but we always have a choice in how we respond, how we interpret our experiences, and how we move forward.
This sense of agency is incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
It suggests that we're not just passengers on this journey called life,
Right.
but active co-creators.
Exactly.
What practical advice does Julian offer to help us navigate this balance between fate and choice?
Well, he encourages us to embrace the present moment,
Okay.
to cultivate mindfulness and awareness in our daily lives.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that true power lies not in trying to control external circumstances, but in mastering our inner world, our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs.
This resonates with the teachings of many, wisdom traditions.
It does.
The idea that our outer world is a reflection of our inner state.
Yeah.
If we want to change our reality, we must first shift our internal landscape.
Right.
What specific tools does Julian recommend for cultivating this inner mastery?
One of the most impactful practices that he introduces is the concept of the holy hour.
Okay, the holy hour.
He advises Dar to dedicate the first hour of each day to nurturing his mind, body, and spirit.
So before diving into the demands of the day, it's about creating a sacred space for self-reflection and personal growth.
Exactly.
I can see how this could be a powerful way to, set the tone for the day.
For sure.
To prioritize inner alignment before, engaging with the external world.
Absolutely. Julian emphasizes the power of consistency, making this a daily ritual, a non-negotiable part of Dar's routine.
Interesting.
It's a reminder that personal growth is an ongoing journey, not a destination.
This resonates with the story of the old miner who spent 35 years searching for gold, only to give up just moments before, striking it rich.
Oh, wow.
It's a powerful illustration of how persistence and resilience, even when facing setbacks, are so crucial to, achieving our goals.
That's true. And it applies not only to external pursuits, but also to our inner work, cultivating self-awareness,
Yeah.
healing emotional wounds, and aligning with our authentic selves requires, ongoing dedication and commitment.
It's like we're constantly polishing that golden Buddha within.
Yeah.
Removing those layers of mud that have accumulated over time, a journey of continuous refinement and growth.
Absolutely. And along this journey, Julian reminds us to embrace the power of choice.
Okay.
We can choose to focus on the positive,
Right.
to cultivate gratitude, to act with kindness and compassion, even in the face of adversity.
It's about reclaiming our agency, not allowing ourselves to fall into that trap of victimhood.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that we always have a choice in how we respond to, life's challenges.
Right.
What I appreciate about Julian's approach is that he doesn't sugarcoat the difficulties of this journey.
He doesn't.
He acknowledges that there will be moments of doubt, fear, and confusion.
Yeah.
But he also emphasizes the importance of not allowing those moments to, derail us.
For sure.
To remember the tools and lessons we've, accumulated along the way.
Exactly.
This reminds me of the analogy Julian uses about the man hanging from a cliff in the darkness,
Right.
fearing he'll fall to his death.
Yeah.
And then when daylight breaks, he realizes that a ledge is just, inches below him.
Wow. It's a potent reminder that our fears can really distort our perception,
Yeah.
creating obstacles where none exist. It's an invitation to question our assumptions, to shine the light of awareness on our fears,
Right.
and to choose courage over paralysis.
Another key theme woven throughout Julian's teachings is the importance of service.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that true happiness and fulfillment come from, contributing to something larger than ourselves.
For sure.
From using our gifts to make a positive impact on the world. It's a reminder that our lives have meaning and purpose beyond just, our individual pursuits.
It is. And it's not about grand gestures or sacrificing our own happiness for the sake of others.
Yeah.
It's about finding ways to integrate service into our daily lives.
Okay.
To make choices that contribute to the well-being of, others and the planet as a whole.
This resonates with the story Julian shares about the monks who covered their golden Buddha statue in mud to, protect it from invaders.
Right.
And years later, a young monk rediscovers the statue, realizing that beneath those layers of mud, the gold still shines brightly.
It's a beautiful metaphor for how our true selves, our inherent worth and potential for greatness, can be obscured by life's challenges and distractions.
Right.
But with effort, dedication, and a willingness to serve something greater than ourselves, we can peel away those layers and allow our inner light to shine. And that brings us to the final piece of Julian's wisdom.
Okay.
The practical steps we can take to embark on this journey of self-discovery and live a more fulfilling life.
So we've been exploring that transformative journey outlined in Discover Your Destiny with the monk who sold his Ferrari, uncovering the wisdom in those, 7 stages of self-awakening. It's been quite a ride.
It has been. But what makes this book so compelling is that it doesn't just offer those, philosophical concepts. Julian actually provides, and by extension, us with practical tools to implement these teachings into our own lives.
Exactly. It's not enough to just, understand these ideas intellectually. We need to put them into practice. What are some of the key takeaways that resonated with you? The 2 tools that can help us bridge that gap between, knowing and doing?
One of the most, I think, practical and profound practices that Julian emphasizes is the power of visualization.
Okay, visuals.
He teaches Dar to create a vivid mental picture of his ideal life, engaging all of his senses to make it feel real.
So it's about going beyond those vague aspirations and crafting a detailed roadmap for our dreams.
Yeah.
It's almost like creating a blueprint for the life we want to manifest.
Exactly. And Julian stresses the importance of not just visualizing the end goal,
Right.
but also the steps along the way,
Yeah.
those daily actions that will lead us toward that destination.
This reminds me of the whole concept of reverse engineering.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the enormity of our goals,
Right.
we break them down into smaller, manageable steps, focusing on those immediate actions we can take, right now.
That's a great analogy. And by consistently visualizing those steps, we program our subconscious mind to work towards them,
Okay.
even when we're not consciously thinking about it.
Interesting.
It's like planting a seed and nurturing it with our focused intention.
Another tool that stood out to me was the practice of positive self-talk.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. Julian encourages Dar to, replace that negative self-doubt with affirmations that reinforce his belief in himself and his abilities. It's about consciously shifting our internal dialogue to become our own biggest cheerleaders.
For sure, our thoughts create our reality.
Right.
And by consciously choosing to focus on the positive,
Wow.
on our strengths and potential,
Mm-hmm.
we empower ourselves to overcome those challenges and achieve our goals.
It's like we're rewiring our brains for success by feeding it a steady diet of positive affirmations.
I like that.
And it's not about denying the challenges or pretending everything is perfect.
Right.
It's about choosing to focus on the empowering aspects of any situation,
Yeah,
even amidst adversity.
exactly. And Julian emphasizes the importance of being patient and persistent with this practice.
Okay.
It takes time to reprogram those deeply ingrained patterns of negative thinking.
It's like building a muscle.
Yeah.
The more we exercise that, positive self-talk muscle,
Yeah.
the stronger it becomes. And over time, it becomes second nature to focus on those empowering aspects of any situation.
Absolutely. Another practical tool that Julian introduces is the concept of Kaizen.
Kaizen.
It's the Japanese philosophy of continuous improvement.
Okay.
He encourages Dar to embrace a mindset of growth, seeking out opportunities to, learn and evolve each day.
So it's about viewing life as an ongoing journey of self-discovery.
Yes.
Rather than a destination that we arrive at.
Right.
This resonates with the idea that we're all works in progress.
Yeah.
Always evolving and expanding our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Exactly. And Julian emphasizes that this growth doesn't have to be dramatic or revolutionary.
Okay.
It can be as simple as reading a new book,
Right.
taking a different route to work,
Yeah.
or having a conversation with someone who holds a different perspective.
It's about breaking out of our routines and comfort zones.
Yeah.
Embracing new experiences that challenge our assumptions and broaden our horizons. What stood out to you about how Dar implements these teachings in his life?
Well, what's inspiring is that Dar doesn't try to overhaul his entire life overnight.
Right.
He takes small, consistent steps, integrating these practices into his daily routine.
Okay.
He starts by dedicating just 15 minutes each morning to visualization and affirmations, gradually increasing the time as he builds momentum.
This resonates with the power of those, micro habits.
Yeah.
The idea that even small, consistent actions can have a profound impact over time.
They can.
It's about starting where we are with what feels manageable.
Right.
And gradually building from there.
Exactly. And as Dar experiences the positive effects of these practices, his motivation grows,
Okay.
fueling his desire to continue evolving.
So it's a virtuous cycle
It is.
where those small wins lead to bigger wins, propelling him further along his path of self-discovery.
Exactly. It's like he's building this foundation of positive habits and empowering beliefs that, support his journey.
Right. And it's a reminder that transformation doesn't have to be overwhelming or daunting. It can be a series of small intentional choices that, over time, create that ripple effect in our lives.
It really can.
Yeah.
And as we integrate these tools and embrace that journey of self-awakening,
Yeah.
we open ourselves up to a life of greater purpose, fulfillment, and joy.
It's been an incredible deep dive into, Discover Your Destiny with the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
It has.
A book that offers not just a compelling story, but a practical roadmap for anyone seeking to live a more, meaningful and fulfilling life.
Absolutely. If you're ready to embark on your own journey of self-discovery, we highly recommend you check out this book. You can find a link to purchase it in the episode description.
And as we wrap up this deep dive, we invite you to reflect on those key insights that, resonated with you. What steps can you take today to integrate these teachings into your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to The Deep Dive for more enriching explorations of fascinating topics. And if you found this deep dive valuable, please share it with someone who might benefit from its wisdom. Thanks for joining us on this journey of self-discovery.